Okay, Impa, welcome back on Sherdog. How are you today, my friend?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. How was your morning session today, Impa?
That was great, man. I got to work with my teammate Gregory Rodriguez, and healthy, strong, and awesome practice. Coach Soriano and Saeed ran it, so it was a solid push. And enjoyed it.
Sorry, can I ask you to repeat the answer because the internet connection is a little bit slow right now. So can you please repeat the answer?
Yes, for sure. Let me see. Maybe I should get back on my Wi-Fi because it was slow earlier. Let me see if it works now. Yeah. So practice was great this morning. I worked with Gregory Rodriguez. He fights in the UFC. Awesome training partner. So it was really good to get after it. A little bit of you there? Yeah. MMA situations, drilling, and a solid Monday push.
I'm glad to hear that your preparation for your upcoming fight on August 4th is going well. You look prepared. You looked very well in your latest fight. Man, that arm triangle choke you used to submit Caron was something. Do you usually drill that? Is that one of your drills?
Oh man, Coach Lentz and I are working on it, and it was cool to see it come together. I mean, I got the position in fights before, and I kind of let it go, didn't capitalize on it. If you look at some older fights, but it was cool to be able to start putting it together and creating different pathways. So uh worked on it, refined it, and then to put it together in the fight the way we dreamed of it. And our teammate Delano, it's like they really came together. So yeah, for sure. Drilled it, put it together, executed, and looking forward to claiming victory in the August 4th fight.
You're scheduled to take on Marthin Hamlet on August 4th in the PFL playoffs. So your next opponent is a wrestler. He, has that very, very strong wrestling base. Do you think that you will manage to submit him as well? Do you see a submission happening there?
Yeah, I believe I can finish him, submission or knockout. Like it's like whatever way I want the fight to go out, make it go. Um, I don't I don't stress about like whether it's a knockout or submission. Like I know that I can submit anybody on the ground, I can submit anybody on the feet too. And push the pace on the feet, knock them out. I'm gonna make and give them that golden bridge, and I said give people that golden bridge to retreat on. And it's like impose my will from the get-go and go claim this victory and move forward. Yeah, the submission's there. If I want it, so is the knockout, so is the dominant decision. Like it's like no matter what, finish my hands raised. So I'm looking forward to it.
Have you changed anything in your training routine? This is going to be the third fight this year. In the first one you took home that unanimous decision, then you scored that submission finish, but of course you are competing very close one fight to the other. So did you change anything at all in your training camps?
Man, like so far straight day, I think not really. Like it's more so refining myself, make capitalizing on the great moments, and also fixing some of the moments where I fell short in my last fights, right? Being more disciplined, being more, a better structure. No, not so much, man. We just keep moving forward, keep refining, and uh, challenge myself to go with the best training partners that I can, and staying the course. Like I think sometimes when people get to the top or to like semifinals or finals or championship, they try to change so much stuff up that they don't realize that what got them there is what they've been doing. So I've been consistently working on what my coaches have had me do, being consistent with my striking, being consistent with my wrestling, being more detail oriented, and it's also remembering too like who I am and what I do. So that's about it, really. Nothing that is glaring, right? More so being who I am and making the best version of myself, right? Like you can focus so much on your opponent that you forget who you are. That's not how we do it.
You told us that consistency is key, and of course you're right. Can I please ask you to tell us, to reveal something that you have been constantly training this year so far?
Man, that arm triangle. Yeah, that arm triangle is one of them. Yeah. And yeah, so it came through and it was pretty cool. Like I've got to position, got to position, got to position, and then Coach Lentz and I worked on it, and we've still been been finding different ways to get there and uh, different pathways and all that. So it's pretty cool, like to have like seen that last fight and now. So that's been still consistent in my training, just because I got the arm triangle last fight doesn't mean I stopped working on it. So that's definitely something I've been working on in this. Putting myself in that position to finish and submit fights, whether it's arm triangle or another submission that can pop out and surprise everybody.
You're only 2 fights away from that $1 million prize. What are your plans for that money in case of victory?
So yeah, when I get that title for sure, I'm gonna make some smart decisions for sure. Obviously, like I would say, like I gotta give 10% back to God. Like I wouldn't get it here without him. So like, I always make sure I do my tithe and offering and take care of my team, take care of my people within it's make some investments. I'm working with this company called Live Wealth and make the right financial decisions, meet with a financial advisor, meet with the head CPA, learn how to really like mitigate my taxes, but then also seeing like where I can start investing my money to help it grow. Because $1 million is great, it's really great, it's awesome, but I believe that can capitalize and really help it grow. So finding like creating like a financial plan and forecast for the future. If the splurge, or the exciting thing that I'll probably do with it is get a nice new motorcycle, right, and go on a fun ride. But most of it will be to see that money grow, whether it's in a long term or it's looking into real estate or whatever, the financial advisors and the CPAs decide like is the best route for the money to grow. So that's going to gain compound interest over time. And eventually, be able to, from this fight and the next ones after, when I get that title at the end of the year, like to keep setting it up so that the money continues to grow in my life now, the day that I get married, the day I have kids, they're solid, my parents are good, my siblings, whenever they need anything, whoever it may be, and I can help all the people that I can. My mom always told me like, um, become a world champion, be a great fighter, all that's cool, and she's very proud. But she'll be really proud when I use it like for like humanitarian work too. So that'd be really good. And I don't know exactly what humanitarian work I'll do yet, but maybe it's even go back to Congo, do something over there, do something here in the United States, stateside, and whether it's one drive, whether it's kids in a hospital, like something that will be worth it with the money too, like not just serving myself or even thinking about setting myself up financially, which I definitely will. Like the right investments, the right long term plan, and being patient with that, but also like to at least maybe do one event that's going to really impact people, whether they get food and they don't have it, or helping provide education for one kid. Maybe it's like seeing if there's a way you can like invest to pay for their education or school or hospital bill or something, because everybody needs help, and if I can have the opportunity to do that with this $1 million, I definitely will.
I'm really glad to hear that. I ask this question, as you can imagine, to all the fighters. Everyone keeps telling me that they would love to invest, which is, of course, the smartest thing, the wisest thing. But at the same time, not many people, let's put it like this, would say something that you just said. It's so hopefully everything will go on according to your plan. So. As you mentioned, you are a very, very religious person. Do you happen to pray before a fight, or that's not the moment? So if so, may I ask you what's going through your mind in that moment?
Yeah, I said like do everything as if you're doing it for God, right? So it's like even when you fight, like if on the Challenger Series in PFL, they asked me like, "Oh, what are your thoughts?" I say, my question is to myself like, "How would you fight if you're leading heaven's armies?" Right? And like, I'm a Christian. I love God. Like, I wouldn't be here without Jesus. At the same time, I know not everybody believes, but I want people to see they're unconditionally loved, and it could be an absolute beast, savage, whatever you want to refer to it as, in the cage, in life, and whatever you're doing. At the same time, still be loving, right? Because I can use that as my platform. Like it's like that's what's going through my mind. And I always pray before I fight. And if you notice too, I'll walk in the cage and I kneel, and it's like I dedicate it to Christ and dedicate it to God, just so I know it's bigger than me. So it's not like going through my mind like this. Oh, I got to do this. No, it's like I'm at peace. I know I'm prepared and I'm ready. And like there's a verse I really like, Exodus 14:14 says, "Be calm, the Lord will fight for you." right? And it's just saying, and that's not just strictly saying like manipulating it to use for a fight, but more so like for people's lives. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, you look so calm when you fight," because like I know like they're the spirit's flowing through me. But maybe somebody watches my fight or hears my walkout song, and I always choose a worship song, like even it's like a worship rap song, because I whether they believe or not, like I want people to find that peace, right? And then that they can continue another day because you never know what somebody's going through. So I just think that before fights, like I pray with my team, my coaches, I dial in and I keep it focused on my fight for sure. And then I pray before I get in the cage, and it's like God use me in that moment. Like let this platform be something to like reflect his glory. Like a lot of time people think fighting's about let me get the glory, lift my hands up, raise it, show who I am. And then it's like for me, it's really about like who do you get to serve in that moment? Because I know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm there to dominate, claim that victory. Like I put the work in there. Like I have faith, but I also have the work that I put in. At the same time, too, like how can I reflect like God's glory and be better? Because I'm not perfect as a human. I've made mistakes. I've done a lot of things that I probably like considered shameful, but like I don't live in that shame. And I want other people too to see that when I fight, like, man, you're a dog, you're this, you're that. Like you put the work in, you come to fight, but at the same time, like they can come after the fight and see like how good God could be in their life. And that's my main thing. I told my dad when I first started fighting that I want MMA to be my ministry. And whether it's talking to somebody after a fight before, how I treat my opponent, how I treat people at the organization, how I admit to mistakes I've made, how I talk about my past and like some stuff that got me into trouble. And just showing like what God's done in my life and like what he's still doing today, that's an important part for me. So like that's kind of going through my mind before a fight. And then it's a very peaceful feeling because I know that when I get that title, like I can't take it to heaven with me. Like I like what this guy said. He says, in the earth we fight for gold and trophies, right? But in heaven the streets are laid with gold. So like when you're fighting to get that gold, like the same thing you walk on, like that doesn't even mean as much in heaven is like so what we value so much in earth. So like I want people like when I get that title, become champion, when I claim this victory on August 4th, that it's bigger than me. And then I just get to reflect like what God's doing in my life. So that's what I do. I pray, I think about that, and I just think about, man, like you never know who's watching you. So even if I'm pissed off or if I'm upset or angry or like I want to still carry myself as like a man of God and enjoy my life. Like not saying like I still swear, I still like I'm not like perfect, but I'm just saying like more so that I can have a conversation with somebody where they feel I just saw what you did in that cage. I just saw this, and like I can pick up somebody's kid too and just be like, hey, like you're going through, you have a good day, or the person who just lost their job, or the person who just lost their kid, or the alcoholic, or the drug dealer, like whatever their case might be, the person who just got out of jail, they just wanted to do something random and got invited to a fight that maybe they can feel some kind of peace before it's all said and done. And that's what goes through my mind. So it kind of gives me like a different peace and like a different purpose rather than strictly fighting to get money or strictly fighting to just beat somebody up, which is all fun, but it has to be bigger than that. It has to be bigger than that for me. So I appreciate you asking that because nobody really ever has. But that's my focus, man.
And I appreciate your honest answer. Impa, thank you very much. I hope that we can further explore these topics in another interview. Best of luck with your upcoming fight. Hopefully, again, I will hear from you in the future.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me
Have,
on.
have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You too. God bless.